Hello, and welcome to the Marc Baxter Show, where empowerment is unlimited. Before we get started, I just want to send a special shout out to Jamie Jacobs, a good dear friend of ours that a lot of you may know yourself. You know, he's no longer with us. We just want to thank God for his contribution to the world and his contribution to all of our lives, and may he rest in peace. The Marc Baxter Show has taken off, people, and we thank you for it. You're a major part of it. You guys have been inquiring, you've been watching, you've been asking questions, you've been giving us constructive criticism as well as compliments. More compliments, though. And we thank you. We thank you because you've told us that we've been effective with empowering, encouraging, and inspiring you to live a more productive life. And that's our whole motive. That's our whole intent. So thanks again for that. Today, what we're going to do, we're going to recap a little from last week. Last show, rather. It was tremendous. A lot of responses from it. In particular, we talked about problems, strengths, and weaknesses. We know that problems and strengths are things that we deal with as well as weaknesses. Oftentimes, we promote our strengths because it makes us feel good, and it makes people feel good about us. But that's not the key to progress and growth. The key to growth is promoting our weaknesses because there's such a huge margin for correction. There's a huge margin for growth. So that's what we want to focus on. Again, those problems are things that happen abruptly. Those things that we don't plan for. They just happen. Locked ourselves out of the house, car accidents, arguments with our husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends. These are the things that happen abruptly. I gave 5 steps to handling these problems. 1, you must first accept the problem. 2, you must first understand the problem. 3, you must appreciate the problem. I know it's difficult, but you must. Number 4, you have to develop a plan of action to correct the problem. And number 5, you have to learn as much as you can from that situation, because you don't want to have to redo the entire situation just because you didn't learn enough. Because we know a problem and a mistake not learned from is bound to be repeated. What was interesting to me in talking to a lot of the staff from the show, as well as the viewers, you guys are so interested in my life, my travels, where I grow up, the things that influenced me to get to this point. What qualifies me to sit here and talk to you and inspire you? And listen, I'm all game. I appreciate it. I love the fact that you want to know more about me, and I want you to know more about me. So what we've done, we've collected some questions and things from all of you guys, as well as from some of our staff, and they want to ask me these questions. And what we're going to do now, I haven't seen the questions. I don't know what they're going to be, but what I did is I told them I didn't want to see the questions because I owe it to you as an audience to keep this as real as possible. This is a real show. We want to come from our hearts to yours so that we can encourage and empower you as much as possible. So without further ado, we'll ask the questions and I'll answer the questions to the best of my ability, and I'll be as open as I can to you. So right now, we'll challenge the questions. I was born and raised in the North Philadelphia section of the city, specifically Nicetown. And the environment was very rough. I'm the youngest of 5 children, 3 older brothers and a sister. My environment was very challenging. A lot of negativity, drug-infested, low socioeconomic environment. So again, there wasn't a lot of happiness where I grew up at. In fact, a lot of my peers and we often teased each other and did, things that aren't real nice because we had nothing else to do, and we kind of operated from a negative standpoint. So that's something that a lot of kids that grow up in similar environments do, because it's almost from the quote, lower your self-esteem in order to boost mine. So that's the kind of environment I grew up in. How is it influencing me now? Well, it's a tremendous influence on me now because I'm so afraid to go back to that. It was so devastating on my life, and I wanted so much more growing up that I work so hard, and it motivates me so much that I don't have to go back to that. So I think that basically is where I'm from and how that has an impact on my life presently. most vivid memory as a child, I must say, was probably playing organized sports. I played football my entire life. In fact, that actually got me to college, my ability to play athletics on a high level. Sports for me was an escape from reality. Sports afforded me an opportunity to engage in something that I love to do and totally let loose. I didn't have any problems. I didn't worry about the utilities being cut off in my house. I didn't worry about not being able to go to an event because we couldn't afford it. I didn't worry about not being able to get any name brand clothes or sneakers and things because football allowed me an opportunity to escape all of those worries. So I must say that my participation in organized sports, football specifically, is my most vivid memory of my childhood. Well, basically, I realized at a very young age that I had a strong force inside of me. In fact, when I was 8 years old, I told my mom, I said, "Mom, no matter what I do and how good I do it, I always feel like I'm superior to anyone or anything that I'm around." I said, "It's so strong, something that's inside of me." I said, "It's so strong that it almost feels like I can take over the world." It's okay, baby. That's nothing but confidence. Everyone has it. My mom and I didn't have the greatest relationship, and I guess we may get into that a little later if the questions lead us in that direction. And she kind of downplayed it. But I knew that it was something burning inside of me. And the more I got around people, the more people gave me feedback, which led to I had something special. So the more I was around people, they always said, "Mark, you're a leader, you're a bona fide leader, and you inspire me, you encourage me." So the answer to that question is that I'm still in I'm still in pursuit of understanding that gift to inspire people, but I knew that I had a gift at a very young age, and other people have, encouraged me and led me up this path to now be in a position where I can encourage others. Well, I'm so encouraged to motivate others because it hurt me so much not to be supported growing up. I felt so alone growing up. I mean, if I continue to talk and think and recollect, I mean, I can actually, I may need a box of tissues. I mean, that's how devastating it was. But I just want to encourage all of you that we all have problems, strengths, and weaknesses. And if I can overcome and get to a place where I can cope with this and still be successful, so can you. But my motivation for wanting to encourage is that I don't wish anyone to go through what I went through growing up, because I always wanted so much, but I had so little, and I had no direction of how to obtain what I wanted. It's almost as if right now, as a grown man, I'm turning into what I always desired to be, only because I had hopes and aspirations. So that's what motivates me. I don't want to go back to what I was, and I want to motivate and encourage other people so they don't feel that deep burden and pain that I felt growing up, because it hurts so bad, and I don't want other people to go through that. I want them to be able to overcome and accomplish what they sought out to accomplish. And it's very important for me to reach the people because this is my purpose. See, I'm not just standing here in front of you, and we didn't just start the Marc Baxter Show because I said, let's start another business venture. We started the Marc Baxter Show because I had a burning desire in me, something much bigger than myself that's leading me into this direction to encourage and inspire you from what I've been through and what I've overcome. That's hard to say. I mean, I guess it depends on, what people are describing me, but I can tell you the commonality that all the descriptions will probably have. They will probably all say that I have a good heart, I'm a good guy, and I'm a man of my word. See, character is the utmost important to me. Even if I mess up, my ability to say I made that mistake is huge for me. In fact, I don't even promise. I don't make promises, because if my word isn't good enough for you and how I respect and honor my word, then a promise can't do more than that, because my word is my bond and I stand behind it firmly. So I don't know how people would describe me, but I know it would be in a respectful manner, and they would clearly say, I'm a consistent man, I'm a man of my word, and I stand behind my word. I would probably have to make that plural and say who have been the most inspirational people in my life. But if I had to choose one person, I guess I would say my dad. You know, my father, although he only went to the 6th grade, and although he rarely interacted with the family, stayed in his room, isolated himself from us almost all the time. Like, we've never had like a family table dinner together. He's never come down and watched television with the family. Like, he just isolated himself. But I saw a lot of character in him. You know, he was a man of integrity. Look a man in his eyes, be strong, be honest, be firm. And he was very consistent in his lifestyle. He went to work, came home every day, worked a hard labor job. I mean, with a 6th grade education in a big city, coming from a southern town in Savannah. I mean, come on now. So I thought that was very respectable for what he's accomplished in life, and how he was able to, in light of all of his flaws and shortcomings, still contribute to my life. So I would say my father was my biggest inspiration in life. That's been a whole lot of things. I mean, in every aspect of my life, there's an obstacle that I have to overcome. You know, if you remember in last show, I asked how many of you think that life gives you an unfair challenge, meaning that it's so hard for you but so easy for other people. Well, that used to be me. I used to think that way until I learned better. But what I would say that the largest obstacle that I had to overcome in my life was learning how to love myself. And I can truly admit that, and a lot of people struggle with this same thing, but my struggle was so deep because I felt like I wasn't even accepted in my own family. So feeling like an outcast in my own family made it quite difficult to know my self-worth outside of my family. So I learned how to love myself through getting to know myself. Problems, strengths, weaknesses, shortcomings, insecurities, fears, you know, what I'm able to do, what I'm capable of, and what I'm not capable of. I had to learn myself first. Then I had to accept myself. All of the negativities, the positives, everything else. Then and only then was I able to love myself. And the love continues to get stronger and stronger the more I can accomplish and have success in my life. And I put those in my pocket so I can reflect on them later at times where my esteem may not be as high. So basically the biggest obstacle was learning how to love myself. And I had to learn how to love myself through getting to know myself and accept myself. And now that I do love myself, I constantly try to increase the love that I have for myself and spread it to others so that they can see the love in me and they can love themselves as well. It's two things: humility and personal accountability. And also empathy. I'll say three things. See, because if you can empathize with people, that means that you're able to put yourself in their shoes. And see, when you're able to put yourself in other people's shoes, it helps you to not be as judgmental, and it helps you to understand what other people are going through. Okay? To be humble means to understand that everything is given with a cost. Regardless of your abilities or what you can do or what you've accomplished, just understand that you didn't have to be given that, or you didn't have to be able to accomplish that. So just know that whatever you hold yourself in a high esteem about, just know that it can be taken away. So you have to be humble. And personal accountability. If I mess up, I have to really be able to say, I have to be courageous enough to say, I messed up. Me, Marc Baxter, I made the mistake, but I will do better. So I would say humility, personal accountability, and empathy are the three major things that that are essential in that development. One thing that I can say, and I don't know if the other motivational speakers have this or not, but I have a pure heart. Like, you can only match my heart. Like, my heart is pure. If I tell you something or if I believe something, whether good, bad, or indifferent, that's what it is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to camouflage it. I have a pure heart. Another characteristic is that I was raised in a low socioeconomic environment where statistically I wasn't supposed to be here. I got an athletic scholarship to college, which broadened my horizons and gave me an outlook on a world that I knew nothing of. I graduated from college. I went back to get a master's degree. Now I have 24 credits toward a doctorate degree. I've been a behavioral therapist for 12 years. I own 3 businesses. I started from the ground up. I'm a motivational speaker. You know, I'm an encourager. I'm a father. I have 2 sons. I pride myself on being a man of my word. So all of my ingredients encompasses a great motivational speaker. And that's not just coming from me. This is the feedback that I get from all of you. And I appreciate it. And I'm going to continue to do my thing. I don't have any hopes or accomplishment of what I hope to accomplish with the Marc Baxter Show other than being able to give you what's inside of me. In all of my life, people have been telling me what's inside of me is something great. What I've been feeling my whole life was that what's inside of me is something great. What I know right now is that the responses from the first show have been great. So this is validation that what I have inside of me is great. And I don't take ownership of it because I know that it was given to me with a cost. And that cost is to give it to you. So that's what I'm here to do. That's a great question, and let me just tell you a little story and lead to my message that I want to leave the viewers with today. I spoke at a college maybe 2 months ago, actually. College, there was grad students, non-traditional students. A lot of them were older. It was a night course. A friend of mine asked me to speak. I went. I spoke to the class. It went really well. Throughout the speech, one lady in particular, you know, she had a lot of questions for me. I mean, she was challenging me. But I didn't mind because usually when you know what you're talking about and you're confident about what you're talking about and you're speaking the truth with passion, you don't mind answering questions because they can't discredit you because you're truthful and you know what you're talking about. So I welcomed all of her questions, and as I concluded, I said, I'll take one last question. And of course, it was her. She raised her hand. And I said, yes. So what she asked me, she said, since you know so much, she's challenging me again, why do you have to do so much in your life? So I paused. And then one lady in the back said, don't ask him a question like that. You know, he's done great. You know, he spoke to us. And I said, no, calm down. I'm a grown man. I can handle this. I said, because this is not part of the speech. She's questioning my integrity. What I told her is that my biggest fear is to leave this earth without having maximized all of the gifts that I have inside of me. And I encourage you to do the same. Everyone was happy. She even had a relaxed look on her face like, wow, he kind of put me in my place. And I left the place because I was rushing. I had to take my son to basketball practice. I left there and everyone was satisfied with the response except for me. And this is why I wasn't satisfied with the response. Because I had to do some introspection. I had to really dig a little deeper to see, why am I so motivated? Why do I always want to achieve on such a high level? Why do I just go and continue to try to maximize my potential? So I went back to my childhood. And I realized that I labeled a lot of people around me in my childhood because they always said what they wanted to do and made plans to do things, but they never followed through and did them. And me, as an encouraged young man, I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. Anytime someone would tell me they're going to do something, I would get excited for them because I love to see people accomplish and achieve. But then after days go past, they never do anything and they don't even have an explanation. It's almost like they never said it. this used to burn me up so much, to everybody around me. I grew up thinking that everybody in the world were dreamers. That's what my community posed to me. And that's what I labeled them, dreamers. It got so bad, in fact, that I didn't even want to dream anymore. I wanted to cancel my ability to dream because I was fearful that I would grow up and be like these people, these dreamers. And I realized I had 3 ways. I was serious about this. I had 3 options to discontinue my ability to dream. First option, I just tried to stop sleeping. I don't recommend this to anybody. It definitely was a no-go. Sleep is an involuntary response. You will go to sleep whether you try to or not. And if you do the silly thing that I did, you'll go to sleep in places and at times that you don't want to. So please don't try this on your own, audience. It's not recommended at all, okay? The second option I had, I tried to get a little fly. I prayed to God. And I asked God to remove my ability to dream. Right? I know. I got some audacity, right? I got some nerve, right? Not only was he upset and totally ignored me, but he gave me the same dream for 3 years afterwards. The same exact dream for the next 3 years. But he did give me some advice. He said, just go. Gee, thanks. Thanks. Whatever that means. So I was left to my third alternative. And I'm here to tell you today, people, that I'm living out one of my dreams right now. And you're in it. The Marc Baxter Show, where empowerment is unlimited, is a dream of mine. And you are in my dream. So this does a few things. It shows you that dreams really can come true. It showed me that I can really invite someone to my dream. And this is not the movie Inception either. But what I'm telling you here today is this. Everything comes with a cost. You see, congratulations to you for understanding that dreams can come true. But at the cost of, now you know, so now you're responsible for making your dreams come true. Once you know, now you're responsible. See, so I hold all of you accountable from this point forward to make your dreams come true. You have to make them come true, regardless of how scared you are, regardless of how unattainable they seem like they are, regardless of how many naysayers say you can't. You must do it. But I'm going to help you out a little bit. I got some great advice for you. In fact, the best advice that anyone can give you in making your dreams come true. Because you got to do this, not for you, but for others that don't believe dreams can come true. They need to see your dreams come true for them. And here's the advice to you. Just go. Just go. Just go. See, our main objective in life, people, is this. We want to put ourselves in a position where we are influencing the outcome. See, the way you influence the outcome is like this. You have to gain control of your time, and you have to have leverage to make moves in that time to make your life better and increase the value of other people's lives. Let me explain. If you're running around like a chicken with his head cut off and you're constantly behind the 8 ball and you're constantly reacting to what life gives you, you're light years away from controlling your time. You have to slow things down. You have to get control of your time. That way you can use your leverage to make positive gain and progress in your life. Now, the total opposite of having control of your time and no leverage is to have no control over your time and absolutely no leverage, right? So where are you when this happens? What place are you in when you have absolutely no control over your time and you have no leverage? I mean, don't all answer at once. What place are you in when you have this? Okay, I'll tell you. You are incarcerated. You're in prison. When you're in prison, you have absolutely no control over your time and you have no leverage. You have someone telling you everything, every time, and every place in your life that you have to do and you have to go. You have no influence over the outcome. So when you're home and you look in the mirror and you do some introspection, I want you to measure yourself and see which side are you closer to. Are you closer to having influence over the outcome, or are you closer to being incarcerated? Ask yourself that question.